Hey everyone, it's Janie here. We've emptied all the product, and later on today I'll show you just what we take when we're going on a van tour. We have about 3 weeks of vacation to kind of see some sights and find some funky things that we can share with you. So I've just picked up the van from a visit to the mechanics. Got the oil changed, did a peace of mind check because I'll be putting on a lot of miles in the next few weeks. And now it's time to go get some American money. And although I love my hair long, I'm dying of heat and it's time to get a severe cut. So next time I see you, new look. Ciao. American money, check. Haircut, check. Time to get some gas. And I'll see you at home when we pack up. So here we are at the back of the Silver Bullet. It's all emptied out from the last show. And we're now ready to hashtag van life and get her all packed up for our next road adventure. So the first thing that needs to go in is the tote of car supplies that I bring with me no matter where I'm going. We went over that in the last video, so let's get that in and I'll show you the rest of the stuff we take for a road trip. Alright, now it's time to show you what we put in the van for a trip wherein we really don't know where we're going or how long we're staying or just what we're going to be doing while we're there. So we have a few things that are typical camping gear that I'm going to put in, and then I'll go through my baskets and you'll see what else we bring along. Let's get over the first most commonly asked question. When you road trip and you sleep in your vehicle, what happens if you need to use the restroom or have a shower and you're not close to any facilities? So the first thing that I pack is 2 parts. I have this bin, which has a few essentials. A shower bag, or an alternate shower hose that can be run off the car battery. Dustpan to keep the vehicle free of dirt and debris. And a portable loo. This has legs that pop up and has very reliable system to use if needed. Typically there's a Tim Hortons or a Walmart or a Target around the bend, so this is literally in case of emergencies or in case of being in a really remote area. This isn't a day-to-day piece of equipment. However, it is for peace of mind better to have an alternate in case you're stuck. This also has a water bag, some garbage bags, and a pop-up dish bin. So in conjunction with the bathroom bin, we have this tent, which is not actually for sleeping in. It's a 2-part tent where you have a door that you can go in, and you can put either your hot shower bag in there to shower in privacy, or you can use this part for a bathroom stall. One thing with a minivan instead of a larger van, you can't really stand up to get dressed, so if you're camping in a place, this allows you to, on the dry section, to have a place to fully get dressed without having to become a contortionist. Along with that tent, I also like to just pack an emergency tent in case something happens. For example, if your vehicle breaks down and you need to camp somewhere while the mechanic works on it, or if you found this beautiful remote place that you can't get to with your vehicle, then I like to have just a very lightweight, easy 2-person tent. Again, as I mentioned in the first video, have a terrible back, so instead of sleeping on the ground, I would pull the mattress out of my van and use that. And in one of my bins, I also have a blow-up mattress. So you have, depending on where your location is, some different variety of what you can do depending on how far you're trekking in. Little tents like this are cheap and notorious for leaking. So my alternate solution, because sometimes hanging up a tarp can be cumbersome, is since I already have my show tents that I use when I'm doing shows, I bring one of those along. We can pop up the entire, excuse me, this is a bit weighty. We can pop up the entire awning directly over the tent, which then protects you from the rain, allows you to leave the flies open, to have air circulation and have a better night's sleep. I'll pack all this stuff up later so we can see what the van looks like fully loaded. But one of the other things I like to take is this emergency kit. It does have an extra tarp and has various things like tent pegs, rope, scissors, wire stripper, screwdriver, pliers, first aid, snake bite kit, whistle, all the kind of survival things. I don't plan on using all this, but this is what I call a little red bag of insurance. It allows you to be a little bit more self-sufficient and reliant if something does happen while you're in more remote areas. So to go along with the rest of the camp gear, I have this nifty folding table that can hold a Coleman stove or something else like a board for eating off of if there's not a table, that kind of thing. And I like to pack a couple camp chairs. So that's the main amount of camping stuff. The rest of the things that I pack all go into laundry baskets. And there's a reason I do laundry baskets for traveling in the van instead of totes that I use for shows. Because one, it allows air circulation, so if something gets damp or something, the air can move throughout, as well as the hidden advantage of when you're crossing the border, it's very open, it's very clear to the border guards what's in each container, and I find that that kind of puts them at ease. So let's go over a couple of the baskets. Okay, so I like to bring a bunch of these baskets, and each one serves as a different room that you would have in the house. So this one here is the closet or the bedroom. It has my clothes just folded up in here of what I'm going to need, a bag for accessories and jewelry, and then a toiletry bag. And one of the things that I find necessary for when you're traveling like this is to bring a pair of hideous flip-flops so you can run into like a public shower or something like that without having to worry about a foot fungus. So obviously this trip is not a solo trip, so this empty basket is for my partner's clothes, and he will pack tomorrow when we leave. This here is the kitchen. The kitchen has a bucket. This is a pop-up bucket just for water. Again, a pop-up strainer, because one of the things that are easy to have on the road is pasta. So we have a strainer, just some paper towel. This here is a set of camping dishes. It has 2 plates and 2 pop-up bowls and cutlery for 2. some throwaway paper plates, because when you just make a sandwich or something, sometimes dishes is not something you want to do. And here's a camping portable set that is different pots for cooking in. And because this is only for 2, and I don't want to haul all my camping gear, I'm not looking at carrying a huge Coleman stove. So I am a huge fan of my little 1 burner. It's enough to heat something up, make coffee, which I do in this little pot that was once my grandmother's. And I have another great pop-up silicone item that allows me to make coffee in the filter, just dripping it into the cup. And aside from that, I have a few utensils, a spatula, a marshmallow fork, and a heavy-duty pair of scissors. I find with that, and of course a knife, I find with those pieces of equipment, that's really more than enough to be able to cook enough. The mosquitoes are starting to come out. It's time for me to get packing. Enough to be able to have a couple meals on the road without going over your food budget, and without having to carry a ridiculous amount of things in the vehicle. One is the food bin, which, as you can see, is dreadfully empty. I've noticed the last few years crossing the border, they seem to be very concerned about what kind of food items are in my vehicle. So I have learned to save my food shopping once I get south of the border. The prices are very cheap, and they have snacks that we don't get. And I also have this crazy mentality that this basket for traveling should basically look like a 7-year-old was given $200 in a candy store to buy food and provisions. I like to have a lot of road snacks and fun things to eat along the way to break up the monotony of driving, and it just kind of makes you feel like a kid again. It's a couple times a year you get to really splurge and be silly that way. So that will be filled, as well as a small cooler and a large cooler. I like to have 2 separate coolers, one for food products and one for drinks. We're in the drink container a lot more, and with the drink container you can just throw in some ice as you're going along the way. But with the food container, I don't like to use bags of ice. I'd rather use freezer packs and things like that, because I don't want my food to get soggy. So things like cheeses and stuff are not great when they get waterlogged. My coolers also have some little small containers, Ziploc boxes and stuff, to kind of keep things a little dry if we have to use ice instead of the freezer blocks. The last bin that I have with me changes during the seasons, because we're in summer right now. It's more worried about staying cool. This is in winter, then the focus becomes keeping the van warm enough. So in here I have a pack that has cables for phones and chargers. I have a couple inverters to charge things. I have my newest and latest backup battery, which can be charged either by the car or wall mount, and it's got a good capacity battery and some USB chargers there. This will be able to run a box fan in the car if we're suffering with heat exposure. We do have a couple portable little battery operated fans that are also LED lights. So it can, cool down and get a little bit of air motion in the vehicle, so you're not feeling completely miserable, and can give some light and not drain the battery. I also have a couple of fun other LED lights that are battery operated as well. Again, trying out different ones just to see which ones are better on batteries. As well, in here I have a few tie downs and a small extension cord in case that's needed. So the last thing that we'll pack up in the vehicle, aside from our documents to cross the border and things like that, is a bin that I'm working towards to help with blocking out the light. I have some blackout curtains. I tried a way of mounting them. It's not working 100%, so I think this is a solution we'll solve along on the road. Also in here there's a couple window screens. They're the magnetic ones, so we can roll down the windows and get some airflow that way. I brought some extra magnets to mount them just along the car, and we'll see the most efficient way of setting this up. On the passenger door I have umbrellas, bug spray, and sunscreen at the ready. And then you can see everything is packed. The bed is ready to go. And we are ready for our 3-week van life adventure. Until then, peace out and take care.